Godfrey Ho, known as the Deadwood of Hong Kong cinema by many high-end film enthusiasts, is an extremely prolific director and screenwriter with unexpected cult status. He is especially famous for his very low-budget ninja movies and his 80s cut-and-paste style. Godfrey Ho is believed to have directed some of the baddest films in cinema history. Although Ho has directed more than 100 films, he remains unknown to many film buffs. However, if you visit the martial arts section of a second-hand DVD store, you will find numerous titles with his name or one of his many aliases: Godfrey Ho, Charles Lee, Tony Chung, Bruce Lambert, Wallace Chan, Larry Hutton, Philip Fraser and Chi Mao Ho, among others. With more than 40 pseudonyms, it is difficult to know how many films he has actually directed. However, two elements that are almost always present are the collaboration of his production partner, Joseph Lai, who at one point was thought to be another alias of Ho, and that the word ninja will appear in the film's title.
Close up, and by editing it looks cool.
Chi Kwang Ho, which is his real name, was born in Hong Kong in 1948 and began his film career at Shaw Brothers Studio, the main production company in Hong Kong at that time. In the early 1970s, he worked as an assistant director for Chong Che, along with a young John Woo. During this time, he appeared in several major Che films, including Young People, 1972, The Water Margin, 1972, Hellfighters of the East, 1973, and Blood Brothers, 1973. Soon after, Ho had the opportunity to direct his own projects, starting with low-profile action films such as The Blazing Ninja, 1973, where he met Joseph Lai, who was an associate producer. He also co-directed Paris Killers, 1974, with Ting Hung Kwa, who would later work with a rising young Jackie Chan. Following the commercial failure of Paris Killers, Ho left Shaw Brothers to pursue a new collaboration with Lai and his company ASSO Asia, attempting to take advantage of the booming popularity of Hong Kong action cinema. For the rest of the decade, Ho directed several low-budget kung fu films in Korea, using a Korean cast and crew to cut costs. These imitations of Hong Kong films were not sold in Hong Kong, but were intended exclusively for international distribution. This was made possible by the advent of new home video formats like VHS and some smart business decisions by Lai and his producing partner Thomas Tang, who would later found his own production company, Filmark. Ho continued to work with Lai and Tang after this separation. As for the films, they were period kung fu films designed to look Chinese and appeal to international audiences fascinated by Bruce Lee. Although well executed, these works were artistically disjointed. Films such as Dynamite Shaolin Heroes, 1977, Enter the Invincible Hero, 1977, The Deadly Silver Ninja, 1978, Dragon Snake Fist, 1979, Dragon's Showdown, 1980, Snake Strikes Back, 1981, and Leopard Fist Ninja, 1982, they were produced at an incredible rate, up to 4 a year, with little regard for historical or cultural accuracy.
You dirty bastard!
The invincible hero. Leads a young fighter to become involved in a guard force. Who is the mastermind? Enter the invincible hero.
In the early and mid-1980s, Godfrey Ho and Joseph Lai realized that they needed to change their strategy to keep up with developments in the genre and the film industry. At the time, it was common and economically viable to include Caucasian actors in films to appeal to American audiences. Following this trend, Ho and Lai, under Lai's new company, IFD Films and Arts Limited, created after the dissolution of his partnership with Tang, began producing more contemporary action films featuring ninjas. In the 1980s, Ho produced work that stood out as infamous, endearing, and inept. He cast American B-movie actor Richard Harrison, who had turned down a role in Sergio Leone's A Fistful of Dollars, recommending Clint Eastwood instead. Ho directed numerous ninja scenes on very low budgets, as well as expository scenes with Harrison and other actors. This approach became the basis of his copy and paste period. Ho or Lai, neither takes credit, re-edit and combine their ninja scenes with material from other sources, usually incomplete or unreleased films from other Asian countries such as the Philippines and Thailand. These films, from various genres such as gangsters, comedies and romances, were dubbed into English, as were the ninja scenes, to create the final product. Although the results were not always consistent, they made financial sense, as Ho and Lai found a way to make several low-budget films for the price of one, while keeping video rental stores in the United States well supplied. Harrison was not satisfied with this methodology. At first, He had agreed to participate in some of Ho's films, but he ended up being the involuntary star of more than 20 films, all of them re-edited and poorly spliced with others to lengthen their duration. For example, movies like Ninja Terminator, 1985, Ninja Champion, 1986, Ninja Thunderbolt, 1986, Ninja Dragon, 1986, Ninja the Protector, 1986, and The Ninja Squad, 1986, featured dubbed scenes of Harrison talking on the phone to another character from a completely different film, in a failed attempt to tie together two separate plots. Disgruntled and embarrassed by his collaboration with Ho, Harrison retired from acting in the 1990s.
Working! I lost Black Tiger and Red Panther, and now Gordon has disappeared. You...
No good trying your fancy foreign ways. You're just a peasant.
Hold it!
Keep your distance.
You're so stupid. You killed Fox and my men. And you.
Much of the music in these ninja movies was copied from elsewhere. Popular victims include the early works of Pink Floyd, Wendy Carlos's score for A Clockwork Orange, 1971, and John Williams' music for Star Wars. For example, Li's IFD logo theme song at the beginning of each film was clearly copied from The Imperial March. It cannot be determined exactly how many films were made in that period due to the way they were produced and the multiple title changes for international markets. To further complicate matters, Li later re-edited ninja footage from many of Ho's films into a 32-episode television series called Ninja Myth. Ho concluded his cut-and-paste era with a series of short but prolific films, in which kickboxers replaced ninjas. This was probably an attempt to take advantage of the success of new talents in the martial arts, such as Jean-Claude Van Damme. Ho and Li employed their usual film splicing techniques on titles such as Kickboxer the Champion, 1991, Little Kickboxer, 1992, Robo Kickboxer, 1992, Kickboxer from Hell, 1992, and Kickboxer Against the Odds, 1992. However, his financial success in this field was beginning to decline. As a result, Ho continued directing legitimate features throughout the rest of the 90s. Briefly stepping away from IFD, Ho made Lethal Panther, 1990, an action film inspired by Nikita, 1990, about female assassins, followed by a sequel in 1993. Ho further expanded his repertoire with Laboratory of the Devil, 1992, an unofficial sequel/remake of Mao Tun-Fei's shocking Men Behind the Sun, 1988, based on the atrocities committed by Japan's Unit 731 during World War II. Although it had moderate critical success, Ho was commissioned to make a sequel, Maryuta 3, Destroy All Evidence, 1994. Ho directed a few more legitimate features, including Undefeatable, 1993, and Mr. After a prolific and unconventional career in film, he now teaches his craft at the Hong Kong Film Academy. The Filmmark brand has collaborated with several producers, including the Taiwanese Wuque Zhen, who manage various subsidiaries in Taiwan, the Philippines and Thailand. Under the direction of Thomas Tang, Filmmark is dedicated, like IFD but with less precision, to the piracy of old Asian films, adding scenes with Western actors with greater or lesser skill. Ho directs and edits footage for Filmmark using numerous aliases, with rather mediocre results, as in Ninja, American Warrior, and Clash of the Ninjas. Filmmark was investigated fiscally, but the investigation was unsuccessful, in part due to 2 consecutive fires in the building that housed the Filmmark and IFD facilities. Thomas Tang is believed to have died in one of these fires. Godfrey Ho's 2-in-1s keep getting weirder, combining kickboxing movies, Thai thriller scenes, zombie movies and pretty much anything else with great verve. In particular, launching the Thunder Ninja Kids series, Thunder Ninja Kids in the Golden Adventure, Thunder Ninja Kids, The Hunt for the Devil Boxer, Thunder Ninja Kids, Robo Kid, Thunder Ninja Kids, Wonderful Mission, a chaotic mix of Western and Asian scenes intended to create a series of films for the price of less than one.
Thunder Kids 3, Hunt for Devil Boxer. In the hands of Satan, it can destroy the world. I am your master. Belches forth its dead to join the cause of darkness. Thunder Kids 3, Hunt for Devil Boxer. A true heart and a steady hand can vanquish any foe. Devil Boxer. Don't miss it. See it soon on your screen.
Finally, the great adventure arrives and the jump to Hollywood. Tired of working in Hong Kong's B-series, Godfrey Ho moves to Hollywood to direct 2 co-productions between Hollywood and Hong Kong, under the production company Action Star Pictures, with the direction of martial arts master Tai Yim. The first is 1992's Honor and Glory, starring Cynthia Rothrock, whose title seems to be trying to capitalize on the success of the actress's other film, Rage and Honor. Then, with Cynthia Rothrock and the peculiar Don Nyam, Tai Yim's student, comes the fun Undefeatable, which confirms that, even when directing a real film and not a montage, Godfrey Ho is still one of the worst directors active. To keep in practice, he mixes scenes from Undefeatable with a Hong Kong film starring Japanese actress Yukari Oshima. Released under the title, Bloody Mary Killer, the result is bloodier and with more nudity than Undefeatable, but just as tacky. After failing to establish himself in Hollywood, Godfrey returned to Hong Kong in 1994 to direct Men Behind the Sun 3, the final episode of a trilogy set in a prison camp. This installment is simply a crude repetition of the first two films. The former is known for its sadistic and bloody excesses, and has achieved cult film status. The second was directed by Godfrey Ho himself 2 years earlier, reusing 90% of the first. In 2000, he returned to the United States to film Manhattan Chase, his third collaboration with Cynthia Rothrock, after Honor and Glory, also known as Angel of Kickboxer, and, according to IMDb, his last known contribution to the cinema. In the following years, like many retired professionals from various fields, he dedicated himself to continuing education. Representing various organizations, Godfrey offers film classes, teaching aspiring Hong Kong directors the complex arts of editing and screenwriting. Thanks to Buddha, talented new filmmakers are emerging from his classes in droves. In recent times, Godfrey Ho has achieved cult status, despite his attempts to be an overtly commercial filmmaker. His work, characterized by its absurd and artisanal nature, results in pathetic cinema, unintentionally comical and hopeless in its efforts to appeal to Western culture. This, in turn, attracts fans from the weirdest and most wonderful corners of the film world. As a result, Ho has inadvertently created some of the best and worst films ever made, and will continue to find a loyal audience, although not quite the one he envisioned.